An incredibly talented player, Greeny, one of the best offensive guards we've ever seen, but probably the player in the league who has the most baggage. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to out here in Vegas who say, Kyrie's great, but I wouldn't want him on my team. Why? Because you can't trust him to be out there night after night. And it's what the Nets just lived, it's what the Celtics lived before them, and it's what the Cavs saw all along. And people say, well, he won with the Cavs and he won with LeBron. That was 6 years ago, and a lot of baggage before everything started piling up now.
Yeah, and it does bring the question. And Chris, you had some strong comments on Kevin Durant earlier, which I respect. If Kevin Durant, if the friendship with Durant wasn't enough, the relationship, for whatever reason, just wasn't enough to sort of get Kyrie to the place he needed to be the running mate that Kevin Durant needed, why should LeBron trust that he can get it done? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying.
Do you trust him if you're LeBron?
Yeah, I trust him if you're LeBron because I trust LeBron's player leadership. We haven't seen Kevin Durant display that type of leadership no matter where he's been in the NBA. So that's what would make me believe that you would get the best version of Kyrie Irving. Also, keeping in fact that Kyrie Irving is angling for a max contract after this upcoming year. So I think that money being a motivating factor is going to lead him to be a model citizen if he goes out to LA. And so that's why I would think that the Lakers would want to be all in on this situation because what are their options? They don't have a lot of pathways in order to get better. And clearly they're a better team if you've got Kyrie Irving as opposed to Russell Westbrook.
Look, I mean, Zach, I can see this a couple of different ways. One of them is if they manage to turn Russell Westbrook into Kyrie Irving, you could look at that almost as a basketball miracle when you consider how bad it looked from their circumstances. But the element of whether you can trust him or not, and Friedell brought it up earlier, I mean, that's a real thing here, Zach. How do you see it?
It's undeniably a real thing, but look, the vaccine mandate issue is gone. Like Canty said, Kyrie is going to be angling for a big long-term deal, and he can't get one if he plays 29, 41, whatever games again next year. And this is LeBron at age 37, turning 38 this season. He's all in to win right now. He has no time, and he is not going to tolerate anything but all-in commitment from Kyrie Irving. And like you said, Greeny, Russ for Kyrie. Now, there's going to have to be draft pick compensation in there because that deal really helps the Lakers. But that deal on its own, if Kyrie Irving is available, transforms the Lakers from what I think is pretty close to a lost cause as a title contender, a team that can win 4 playoff series, to a team that has at least a puncher's chance of doing that. That's how big a deal that is for the Lakers.
I agree. I mean, absolutely everything hangs in the balance here. And one of the other reasons is because of Anthony Davis, who always sort of hovers above all this, because if he's healthy, he obviously makes a huge difference. Now, he's hoping that his comeback season this year, having played only 40 games a year ago, yesterday at the Summer League action, the general manager, Rob Pelinkas, said he has very high expectations for Davis this year. Listen.
He's bought in, and I think he's quietly putting together, one of the biggest off seasons of his career. You can just tell he's got a very serious tone about him, and last year it didn't unfold the way any of us wanted, and I think everyone's going to come back with a chip on our shoulder, and AD's going to lead us with that. I think he's working hard. I know he's working really hard on his body.
All right, so obviously, to some degree, Nick, these are the things that a person in his position has to say. How about the Anthony Davis of it all?
Greeny, everything that's going on with the Lakers right now is cracking me up. You've got Darvin Ham, who's pumping up Russell Westbrook and saying, I've got a whole plan for him, when the front office would love nothing more than to move him this summer and get him out of there. You've got Pelinka saying, AD's having the best offseason possible, when nobody believes that he can actually stay healthy. He was great in the bubble. 3 out of the last 4 years, he hadn't been able to stay on the floor. And then on top of it all, you're trying to add Kyrie to save what is a terrible roster construction. So I'm not buying any of what Pelinka's selling, because the only reason he's saying it is because he has to.
I can't argue with a word of that, Zach. How about you?
I'm buying it. I've already said on my podcast, the Low Post podcast, download it, that Anthony Davis is set for a vengeance season next year. I equate it to how Paul George came back after the bubble when he hit the side of the backboard and was deemed pandemic P and way off P. And everyone looked at recent events and forgot how damn good Paul George is. And he came back and without Kawhi Leonard carried the Clippers to the conference finals. I think Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, and that's the only issue here, and it's obviously a big one, I think Anthony Davis, if he stays healthy, is going to remind the NBA, hey, remember me? I was in the conversation as a top 5 player 2 years ago. You all forgot about me. I think he's going to have a big, big year if he stays healthy. So I'm buying what Rob Pelinkas is selling.
I like it. How about that, Canty? You're a Lakers fan. Why?
I'm a Lakers fan, but Zach Lowe must be a bigger Lakers fan if he's buying what Rob Pelinkas is saying about Anthony Davis. Because I'm not, G. I'm just not. You're talking about a player that has missed half the games the last 2 years. And stop me when we see a big man that's knocking on 30 years old, that's had injury concerns, actually get healthier as his career goes on. They're like running backs in the National Football League. Once they start knocking on 30, they can't stay healthy, and you're not going to get the productivity. That's how I feel about Anthony Davis, and it's unfortunate because this was supposed to be the guy that the Lakers handed the baton to when LeBron James got to the tail end of his career. But it hasn't worked out as such, and that's why I can't have a lot of faith that we're going to get a better version of Anthony Davis than what we've seen the last 2 years.
Look, I think that's reasonable. And you know, Zach, let's just live in a world where they are able to nurse him there, right? So let's say it's not realistic to think he's going to play 78 games. But if they get him there, if they get to the finish line with a healthy LeBron, a healthy Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving on that team, are they a legitimate factor in a Western Conference that is stacked top to bottom? Yes or no at this point, Zach Lowe?
I think absolutely yes. People have gotten by laughing at the Lakers the last 2 years. It's fun to laugh at Goliath when he's on his knees and struggling and flailing all about. But those big three, they fit together. And I like a lot of what the Lakers did in the offseason. Now,
thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.